Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure to be with you, and we are live. Lots to talk about today, so let's dive right in. Top of the morning to you. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. We got a lot to talk about today. This is the headquarters for the Center of Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia. It is located on the Emory University campus. Pretty building, huh? Well, yesterday we had a nutter by the name of Patrick Joseph White shoot this place up. Yeah, he rolled in here, ran into the security guards here, got turned back. They wouldn't let him in to the facility because he had no business in the facility. So he turned around and headed right back up this road to this CVS, where he went inside, made his way to the windows here. And with it's going to be, they haven't told us the weapon. Look, folks, this is the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. They haven't told us the weapon, so you know it's an AR-15. They haven't shown us his picture, so you know they're having a hard time finding a picture of him where he's not wearing his MAGA hat and his I Love Trump t-shirt. He was a vaccine conspiracy nutter. We'll get to that in just a minute. But he went into this CVS and opened fire on the building across the street, just randomly firing at the campus across the street. You could see how ridiculously futile that was. He was just randomly firing at the building. You can see from this angle, from his point of view, this is just, I don't know. It just struck me as really futile and stupid. I mean, you can see. I mean, what is he going to do from here? Just randomly firing at people. He was unfortunately able to kill one person. This is a hero. Young man by the name of David Rose. The DeKalb County Sheriff's Department responding was murdered by Patrick Joseph White. There's the one person that was killed. I don't have a picture of Patrick Joseph White because, again, you know, it's Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and he's going to be a Trumper. And how do I know he's a Trumper? Because he was a vaccine nutter. He was a vaccine nutter. And we know that for a fact because his father has told us. He claims that the COVID vaccine made him suicidal. Folks, you don't get that way on your own. You don't. Nobody takes the vaccine, starts feeling blue, and determines that, the vaccine must be doing it to me. No, this is programmed shit. This is he is one of the RFK Jr. right-wing nutters that have brought us things like ivermectin syndrome, which is, that's a thing now. Didn't used to exist. That is a new disease that was caused by these misinformation nutters who are now running the show. If you don't know what ivermectin syndrome is, we've talked about it before on the show. These nutters went out and bought ivermectin at the trade store, and they're sitting there eating spoonfuls of ivermectin, and they, obviously not brilliant people. Lori, always here to support the show. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Obviously not brilliant people to begin with, because they're going to get a dewormer to try to treat a viral respiratory disease. Obviously not smart to begin with, which means they can't do math. So they go get an ivermectin paste that is dosed for a 1,000-pound farm animal, and they start taking spoonfuls of it. Some of them even bought the ivermectin can come in looks like a giant tube of caulk, just designed to be up the butt. It's typically administered orally, but there is some of them bought the up the butt version and were eating it. Which caused them to crap out the entire lining of their digestive system and do permanent damage to their digestive system, because they have no clue what they're doing, and they were subjected to misinformation, just like this murderous son of a bitch was the result of misinformation, disinformation, and political bullshit to serve our piece of shit orange president. This isn't free, folks. Misinformation isn't free. Disinformation isn't free. There are people out there. David Rose lost his life over this. Got up in the morning, ate his breakfast, put his uniform on, made sure that he was dressed to the nines and everything was in its place, got in his car, went to work, responded to a call of a shooter, and was murdered because of misinformation. Chalk up another one for RFK Jr. Daryl Kirsten, new supporter. Good to see you, sir. Glad to hear you. Turn the air blue, Texas ball. Amen. Amen. Edith Thompson, ivermectin treats mange. It's a dewormer. They use it for several parasites, but viruses isn't one of them. Misinformation caused this. Misinformation caused this. I want to introduce you this is Sajpreet Singh. Sajpreet Singh. On the subject of misinformation and how dangerous it is. Sajpreet Singh is also City Desk NYC on X, along with other accounts. He is a 24-year-old systems engineer running bot accounts on social media. Folks, he runs an account called Doja AI. This guy is posting on each of these accounts 1,000 to 2,000 posts a day. When you post about anything online, if if you're active on social media, you have seen this happen. I want to talk about this misinformation and where it comes from and how we're getting fucking buried under it. You have to remember these right wingers, they're looking for this. The reason they're so susceptible is they are looking for the justifications for their beliefs. They are. And guys like Side Street Singh, my mouth is dry. 1 second. I can't talk. 1 second. Are making a living selling it to them. This guy, this story was not an expose. He wasn't caught. This was an advertisement. He participated in this story. He told us his expenses are like $9,000 to $10,000 a month to run these accounts. He also told us why he was doing the story. See, he has a target, folks. He posts pro-Trump information. He posts pro-Doge information, of course, because one of his accounts is Doge AI, and anti-Democrat information. But right now, to pay the bills, he has a target. He has a target. And CityDesk NYC is an AI-controlled bot account that specializes in attacking this guy. Zoran Mamdani. This is not an assessment on my part. This is what Mr. Singh says in this article. In this article, he makes a plea for more people to hire him. And people are already hiring him because software engineers make good money, but $120,000 a year in expenses to run bot accounts? No, he's getting paid already. He's getting paid already. They don't have 120 grand laying around just to run bot accounts because they're concerned about politics and want to use their skills to influence people. No, that's not what this is about. Casey Hackinson. It wouldn't be Sunday without Texas Paul. I appreciate you, Casey. I appreciate you being here, my man. I'm glad to see our community expanding, and that is kind of where I'm going with this. Randy Oliver, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. This is his target right now, Zoran Mamdani. He literally says in this article that he is looking for people to hire him to pump out more misinformation and disinformation about Zoran Mamdani. This is a new evolution of the type of bots that are out there. We've talked about bots before and the evolution of them and how they started out with this. They started out like this. It was either, actually it started out with Russian military personnel. Then it moved to bot farms like this, where it was one person with multiple devices, and they would sit there and they would post and post and post and post. And of course, that evolved to this, where they develop master control programs and servers to where they could jam pack each server with 20 to 50 cell phones, which evolved to this. This was a bust in Ukraine. This is a bust in Ukraine. We're getting there. We're getting there. It depends on what they do, and it is not highly regulated. And the right wingers don't want to regulate it. Let me get there. Let me get there. We're going that direction. This was a bust in Ukraine. You see the number of servers that are there? This bust was over 21 different sites. Wild Guess is an interactive show. I love to hear what you people know, what you think. How many individual SIM cards do you think they seized? from 21 sites. How many individual accounts were pumping out? These are now AI controlled, by the way. So it's not one person. They don't even have to type out a message. They just tell the controlling bot the political views that they're supposed to have, give it some idea of the kind of insults they want it to throw out and the kind of disinformation they want to share. And now it is AI doing it. No human being could sit and post 1,000 to 2,000 times a day per account. Even if you were just using a master control program, you know what I'm saying? This is one account doing this. That bust in Ukraine, Vincent Day, thank you for being here. My Sunday tied to Paul's Church of Truth and Reason. Thank you, brother. They seized 150,000 separate SIMs out of 21 different locations. That is the kind of bot farm that is trying to impersonate. They're creating massive numbers of accounts on various social media platforms. And talking about Singh again, he alludes to the fact that he is not just on X. This is happening on every platform. This is happening on every single platform. You have the type of bot farms like I just showed you in Ukraine, where they're trying to create an AstroTurf bandwagon movement, where these AI respond to you. You put a post out. I put a post out all the time. The Democrats did this, and there will immediately be bots that file in, bing, 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 bing. Democrats suck. Democrats are weak. Oh my God, they're finally doing something. They're always negative. It's always negative, 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 designed to drive down support for Democrats, try to keep Democrats, actual living Democrats, feeling negative, to suppress voter turnout, to suppress support, financial support. These things are going on right now like crazy. Like crazy. I do what I call troll patrol. I will make a video and I will post a video, and then I will give it a few minutes and I will go back and I will block all the AI accounts and delete their messages, because this is so prevalent. I wish I could tell you this Singh guy was a one-off. He is not. There are hundreds, thousands of these people in every country on earth now. They are flooding social media, and these platforms know it. They know it. And it's easy to catch, but they don't want to. Frankly, I think they should all be sued for fraud. And I mean the platforms, not just the people that are running the bot farms. Because, like X is selling advertising. They're selling access to you. And the numbers they're using are the number of accounts that they have and then the amount of traffic. So if I post something and I get 10 bots, that's not real traffic. That is not what an advertiser is paying for. An advertiser doesn't want to be seen or associated with a fictional being. Fictional beings don't buy cars. Fictional beings don't buy products. Yet these platforms, who could easily spot these. I want you to think about that. Singh tells us his accounts post 1,000 to 2,000 times a day. That is physically impossible for a human to do. At some point, you're going to have to take your hand off the device and wipe your butt. It is impossible for these to be humans, and they know it. And they're easily identifiable. Easily. And then when you get 1,000 accounts coming from a single IP address, even if they're using a VPN, it wouldn't matter. It's 1,000 accounts posting from the same VPN, the same bogus IP address that day. They're easily identifiable. Easily. These platforms could get rid of these in a heartbeat, but they don't want to. They don't want to. Guys like X, Elon over at X, he wants these accounts running. And they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. Republicans tried to stick into the big ugly bill a 10-year moratorium on any regulation. They wanted to make it illegal for themselves to make any law regulating AI for 10 years. Well, geez, I wonder why. I wonder why. So, folks, this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm up against, folks. This is what I'm up against. I'm out there. I build these communities full of you people so that we can get information out. You see my face. I do live shows. I'm competing with an AI bot that's posting 1,000 to 2,000 times a day. I'm lucky to post. You're lucky to see a dozen posts out of me in a day. I'm a human being. I've got shit to do. This is what we're up against on the left. This is why it ain't about me. It's about finding good information from sources like me, sticking to it. And you, again, everybody likes to say it. When they go low, we go lower. We're going to jump in that ditch. We're going to grab our fact bats and we're going to go to work. Well, folks, that means actually doing that. That means as a community, when you see somebody posting anti-democratic shit, when you see them, oh, the Democrats aren't fighting, nail that fucking account and then block them. Block them. See, Singh here can't make his money if nobody looks at his posts. If you see a person that is constantly negative, and I used to laugh about it. I would run and go show Mrs. Texas Paul. I would get one and go show her because I would be doing troll patrol. I would find one, and after I'd find one, I would then pull it up on my phone so I could run into the next room wherever Mrs. Texas Paul was, and I would show her. I just posted about onion soup, and this bot that's assigned to me just put an anti-Mamdani post up on that thread. I mean, they're obvious. They're easy to catch. They are. And they're out there, folks. Your job is to be active. The way we counter it, get involved with your local Democratic Party. They can't counter real people. They can't. They can fill our social media with crap. That's all they can do. They can fill our social media with crap, but they cannot replace the people because those bots will not knock on doors. Those bots will not postcard. Those bots will not make phone calls. They will not make phone calls for candidates. Those bots are not going to make political contributions. Those bots aren't going to speak out. All they're going to do is just fill your social media pages, every time you post something positive about a Democrat, it's going to get filled with these bots. And sadly, not just the bots. There's going to be a handful of people in there that that you know on the left, and I pointed this out over and over and over again. I try not to shit on left-wing creators. I do. But there are these creators that have been duped into thinking that the responses they're getting are fucking people, and they're not. They're not. These are entire creators elevated on these platforms. And in the platforms like Blue Sky doesn't really have an algorithm, but on Threads and Facebook, and these creators are elevated, but precisely because they have these bots. But they're too stupid to know their message is falling flat. That's why I've asked people from now on that if you see a positive message about Democrats, I know you like them, but take a second to put in a comment. We have to fight this, folks. We do. We can't just let this happen. Harvey and Linda, please come. I'm committed to it. I'm committed to it. Stop coddling stupid. Thanks for always being here. Thank you. Love your bat here in Pennsylvania. It's a 1.5-inch iron fact pipe. Oh God, I love you people. But look, I'm not going to keep beating this horse to death. But I just want you to know, unfortunately, the corporate media is on board. They are. This was actually out of Reuters. This comes from a fact check from Reuters. Their point in this fact check was to say people were sharing this online saying this was a Chinese bot farm. See, it says Chinese bot farm right here. The fact check that Reuters did was not to argue that it wasn't a bot farm. In fact, they confirmed that it was a bot farm, although they insisted that we call it an advertising agency, which is just ridiculous on its face. But their beef with it and why they say it was wrong is it was a Vietnamese bot farm, not Chinese. But think about it. I post videos all the time, and I will get people that will comment that obviously haven't watched the video at all. And I know they haven't because there are people that'll come across me for the first time. They'll see me, and my headlines are that I put it above the posts that I put above these articles are meant to catch attention. They will assume that I'm MAGA. And they'll put a really hateful anti-MAGA comment on there because they haven't watched the video. Reuters knows this. Reuters knows most people don't read past the headline. And their headline said that, oh, this was false. This was made up. This isn't a bot farm. Yes, it is. And yes, they do exist. And just because you want to call it a Vietnamese advertising agency, that's what the fuck a bot is. And that's Reuters, folks. That is Reuters. One of the wire services. One of the foundations. When Reuters puts something out, it's picked up by a half a dozen to a dozen other major news sources. All of your local outlets, they don't have journalists to go out. They pay Reuters for the service of reprinting their articles. So yeah, this is an uphill fight that we Democrats are fighting because we don't have broligarchs. The right wingers are like, oh, George Soros, George Soros, George Soros. Like, I wish George Soros would give me $100 million so I could go out and start fucking bot farms worldwide, because we don't have them. These are paid for. Again, Singh, one fucking guy, one 24-year-old software engineer in Ottawa, $120K a year. Before you talk about his bills, that's just the expenses of running the bots. Who's paying him? Folks, that's not your average MAGA trailer trash, no tooth having dumb fuck. They're not paying him. He's being paid by the broligarchs. And we don't have those, man. We don't. So yeah, this is an uphill fight for us Democrats. And guess what? You're the warriors. You're the warriors. We have more people, and we have to utilize that. Dying Breed Garage, has anyone noticed we never hear anything about social media reform? There's too much money in it, and despite endless info that it negatively affects people's mental health, bullying, shootings, etc. Well said, sir. Well said. Amen. And I will leave it this. Michelle gets the last comment. Bots don't vote. Don't be discouraged, because bots don't vote. All right. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep talking about it. This has happened. This happened. We had an outbreak of Legionnaires disease in New York City. And that is a big deal. Legionnaires will cool you, man. If you're in New York City, and they've got this under control. They do. They've got this. They found the source of it and got it under control. But if you've already been infected, if you've got a high fever, you're feeling flu-like symptoms, don't screw around with it, because Legionnaires, you'll think it's the flu, and then it will get much worse. Don't screw around with it. Where this came from was from an infected cooling tower. Just go to school real quick. All cooling systems, did you know they don't make cool air? They don't. Your air conditioner is not upstairs making cool air. That's not what it does. Your cooling system takes heat out of your house, making the temperature lower. That's how it works. It's really simple. A lot of people are really mystified by climate control, by AC, but they all work the same way. It's really simple. It's a closed loop. This one that caused Legionnaire's disease just happened to be what it's called a chiller, or like I said, the cooling tower is a component, a chiller is a component. It uses water. The one in your home uses Freon, but they work off the same principle. It's really simple. It has to do with the basic laws of thermal dynamics, that temperatures want to equalize. They do. You pour yourself a nice, hot, steaming cup of coffee. You're good. You take that cup of coffee, take a sip. Nice and hot. Put it down on your nice granite countertop that you've got in your kitchen. Yeah, even swamp coolers work this way, man. Stick with me. Yeah. If you don't know what a swamp cooler is, it's a fan blowing through an ice chest. Short version of it. It's a fan blowing through an ice chest full of ice. This is how it works. This is how the system in your house works. This is how the system that got people sick in New York worked. It's really simple. You've got a substance in your house. It's Freon, right? If you take that substance and you compress it, it gets hot. It just does. That's the laws of thermodynamics. Little things like molecules, and in which case, look, this is pushed by this big ass diesel electric locomotive, is pushed The work that's being done here that is pushing this entire train is being done by something that is so small that we have no way to measure it, an electron. That is what's pushing this entire diesel locomotive, something so small that we don't even have a way to measure it. But there's just so many of them. Like when you have a wire, that's what's happening. Electrons are moving across the outside of that wire, and that's what generates the force. Is little tiny things like that. Same thing with the heating and cooling your house. You have molecules. You've got your freon. You condense it. Those molecules are compacted tight together, filled with kinetic energy. They're bumping into each other. They get hot. It's the way everything works. Anything you compress gets hot. So you take that hot thing, and this is it. This is it. You take freon, you know there's a compressor. Everybody's had their compressor replaced or serviced at some point in their life. You've got a compressor. It takes your freon, smashes it, and it's really hot. Then it runs through a coil. That's the thing that's outside your house with the fan blowing. And if you go stand over it, hot air blows on you. You're pumping that freon through that coil. And just like your coffee gets cold from sitting on the countertop, that freon, which is now highly compressed, is equalizing with the outside air temperature. That's what's happening. You're equalizing the temperature. You're cooling the compressed temperature. Air's moving across the coils. It touches it. The air wants, because of the laws of thermodynamics, the temperature wants to equalize. A little bit of that energy leaves the coils and goes into the air. The air gets blown away. More air comes in, equalizes. Little bitty molecules just cooling off. Then they get pumped inside your house. When they get pumped inside your house, they're the same temperature as it is outside. Well, that ain't cool, man. No. Well, the way you make them cool is you spray them through a nozzle, let them decompress. And when they decompress, it's the opposite thing. They get colder. The molecules move farther apart and they get colder. You've seen the frost build up on your coils on the inside of your house. Then what do? You blow the air from inside your house, or if you got a cold an air inlet through the outside of the house, blow it across those coils that are now a lower temperature than the ambient temperature in your house, and it equalizes. The air temperature equalizes. But while you're doing that, that warm energy, like I said, AC works by sucking hot out. The warm air in your house comes in contact with those coils, and it gives that energy to the freon that is now cool. And that freon warms up and goes back outside to the compressor and do it all over again. That's how your house gets cool, folks. That's how these chillers work. Well, what happened is these big building chillers use water because they're so big. You wouldn't want the gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of freon. They just use water, which means that you have to keep it sterile. And that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Legionnaires disease is a bacteria. The bacteria grew inside this water and then got aerosolized throughout the building. And everybody caught Legionnaires disease. 3 people died. I think it was 51 people sent to the hospital. That's how it happens, folks. That's how it happens. If you're going to have a building that has chillers instead of a closed loop system like you have in your house, they've got to do the maintenance and they've got it under control. And that's your science class for the day. I want to introduce you to some people. This is This is Commander Emily Schilling. She is a badass. This is her getting it done. She did tours in Iraq and Afghanistan with over 60 combat missions. This is her getting it done. You know how the military likes to take their pretty people and take pictures of them and use them to promote promote the military and this, that, and the other. Well, Emily Schilling's not hard to look at, man, but they didn't use her. No, she's badass. She really is. She's a test pilot in the United States Navy right now, today, out there getting it done. She is a test pilot now. She served in combat in Iraq, combat in Afghanistan, over 60 combat missions flown. She's now a test pilot. And the United States Navy has told her they don't want her service anymore. Get the fuck out. Anybody want to guess why they don't want Emily Schilling's service anymore? Even though she served honorably and is a total badass? Bingo. Emily's transgender. Emily's transgender. This is Master Sergeant Logan Ireland. Master Sergeant Logan Ireland, 15 years in, commendations. Served with distinction. This is him in Kandahar when he was just a staff sergeant. This is Staff Sergeant Logan Ireland. Dude's got some guns, don't he? And I don't mean the AR-15 he's holding in, or the M4 he's holding in his hand. Yeah, they don't want his service anymore either. But they went a bit farther with Logan. They went a bit farther with Master Sergeant Logan. See, 70% of the transgender people serving in the United States military are senior enlisted personnel. That means they've got at least 12 years in, at least. Which means they're doing their damn job, because the military has a way of culling people. There's a chart. There's an advancement chart. If you don't advance, if you don't do your job, if you don't hit promotions, you're out. You're out. And Logan made it to Master Sergeant. And if you folks that have served that are in the comments, kind of explain the significance of making Master Sergeant. He's got 15 years in. The United States Air Force made a deal with him. They said, well, bigots run the show now. And even though you've served our country, even though you served in Afghanistan and Kandahar, you got to go. But, you did serve with distinction. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Normally, you got to serve 20 to qualify for retirement. You transgender folks, 15 to 18 years of honorable service. Go ahead and put in your paperwork, and you can retire. Well, Logan wasn't happy about it. He wanted to keep serving. He wasn't done. But, he said, hey, I got a family to take care of. And I've got a wife I've got to take care of. At least a retirement is something. I'll keep all my benefits, honorable discharge. So he did it. He filled out the paperwork. His retirement date was December 1st of this year. He had his date. It was approved. It was done. Well, Logan just got a memo. Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to honor that. Just get the fuck out. Yes, you served honorably. Yes, we told you that we would give you a retirement because we are involuntarily separating you, that you wanted to continue to serve and you served honorably. So yes, we told you we would let you retire. But no, the bigots will not allow it. The bigots will not allow it. Pete Hegseth will not allow it. That is not going to happen. Folks, this is not about money. There's no argument to be made. There aren't enough transgender people serving for this to be a financial burden to an organization the size of the United States military. He's going to retire in a few years anyways. This is not about money. This isn't a logistical issue. There's no reason to not honor what you promised, except they're bigots. Except they're bigots. So yeah, after 15 years of service, 16, going on 16, Logan Ireland's just got told to get the fuck out. We don't want you anymore. Master Sergeant Logan Ireland just told, get the fuck out. We don't want you anymore. You're not taking your shit with you. No retirement, none of that. Get the fuck out. Commander Emily Schilling, who is currently serving as a test pilot. You know how risky that job is. It's even far more dangerous than combat. Who wants to keep serving? Nah, get the fuck out. We don't want you. Well, they don't want you. I sure as hell do. I think a pilot that served in both Iraq and Afghanistan, who's flown 60 combat missions, has served well enough that they accepted her for a test pilot program. She's a badass. That's exactly who I want. Or someone like Logan Ireland, Master Sergeant Logan Ireland, who has the experience, who has served in combat, who served in Kandahar. Yeah, that's exactly who I want. Not to mention he can bench press more than I can. And he's a bad motherfucker. But, you know, we got a drunk by the name of Pete Hegseth, who's a fucking bigot. And that drunk just reposted a video. You know, I decided this morning I wasn't going to play the video. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get you the video. I'm going to go ahead and get you the video. 1 second. Stick with me for give me 30 seconds here. I would normally find you the best format and everything else, but you know what? Let's just do it quick. I don't want you to wait. This has been shared by Pete Hegseth, and he says, all of Christ for all of life. He is a fucking drunk who cheated on his wife and married a fucking producer that he worked with at Fox News. This fucker is trying to lecture all of us on fucking Christ. Fuck him. This is the kind of shit he shares.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter, agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
I was just
was
going to say
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership.
All right, you get the idea. Ladies, you don't get to vote. Greg Edmond, Hegseth loves the Confederate generals who killed more Americans than Adolf Hitler. I know. They're spending our tax money restoring Confederate statues because they think that they're just fucking bigots. They're just fucking bigots. But yeah, ladies, the same people that are kicking these fine people out of our military are telling y'all, you need to, honey, you need to submit. Hey, that's rude. That is a rude gesture. Damn, girl. We need to work on you submitting better. Christ. I gotta drop that joke. That she will throw hand. Don't. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, ladies, you don't need to vote. You need to do what your man says. And if you don't, we're going to have a good discussion. And I have a feeling that pastor's good discussions might involve a few of these. He really strikes me as the kind that likes to get physical. I don't know why. Just looking at that video, I just got abuser vibes. That's what I got. That my kids would never be left alone in a room with that fucker, that he is not safe to be around. That's the feeling I got. But yeah, our Secretary of Defense, who is supposed to be in charge of the defense of every American in this country, says you women shouldn't vote. You women have no place in combat, even though women like Emily Schilling are doing it with distinction. No problem. Flew 60 combat missions. Oh no, not with that fucking drunkard. I don't know where the arrogance comes from with these people. I'm gonna share something with you folks, just personal. I pray that my wife never figures out she married down. She is smarter than me. She is better educated than I am. She shoots better than I do. She's a badass. When we have to make a major decision, we talk about it. But I go the way she wants to go. And we're better off for it. Believe me, we are better off for it. She's like, there's man and then there's whoa, man. And she believes in that whoa part. She puts a leash on, but whoa, man. She is not subservient to me, nor would I ever want her to be. Because she's a hell of a lot stronger person than that fucking drunk Pete Hegseth ever was. She's 10 times smarter than I am, which means she's 1,000 times smarter than that fucking idiot. And they're running the show. Which brings me back to the discussion we were having earlier about your job on social media, your job sharing this content. Your job hitting the damn thumbs up button. Your job building, I will expand this community. We're about to tip over 200,000 subscribed people here. I will, but it's not me. It's you. It's you getting the word out. We are fighting these bot farms. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. Is we're fighting those bot farms. We're spreading information, good information. I'm letting you see real transgender people because you don't know any. And I can say that with confidence because they are some of the rarest people in this world. To be born a woman with a man's brain is not common. To be born a man with a woman's brain is not common. This is not a societal tipping point issue. But the misinformation is, it is. The misinformation that is being pumped out to everybody, the stupidity, the anti-research, anti-intelligence, anti-education, all of that. That is a societal tipping point issue. That is the fall of an empire. That is the beginning of the Dark Ages. That is real. We've seen it before. But transgender folks just trying to live their lives and, God forbid, keep me safe, keep you safe. I would prefer that everybody just told Master Sergeant Ireland, thank you. I am grateful. And then shut the fuck up about his personal business. Same thing with Commander Commander Schilling. Out there doing one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. She is working as a test pilot. Thank you. I appreciate you folks being here and thank you for supporting the show. I'm very grateful. Parker Joy says from Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville Red, the lady in blue love ride or die coffee mug that I received last week. Glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you know. It's a good cup too, isn't it? Boy, you could beat somebody to death with one of these cups. I'm telling you. Stop coddling stupid. Thank you for always being here. If my wife ever submits to me, out the door she goes. I rely on that back pressure. Amen. Amen. You know, there's going to be a relationship where the man in the relationship is the smarter of the two. In that relationship, they should rely on his leadership. But for God's sake, go with the smarter one. I am telling you, Mrs. Texas Paul, she is like with numbers, like you can hand her, you could hand her one of those big corporate spreadsheets, you know, that comes in the stack, you know what I mean? And she'll flip through that damn thing and, that's wrong. She's a fucking savant when it comes to numbers, man. I'm telling you, I would be an idiot to not follow her lead. Richard Lawton, my wife would air deliver my coffee if I talk like bigot Petey, the war fighter. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I hear you. There was a minute of fear there when I was telling her she needed to submit. There was a minute of fear there. Got a couple more good comments for you here. Mark Pulowski, my swear jar is filled up. Can I store some in your? Thank you, Mark. I do appreciate you, brother. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you. E.T. in the house. Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic is now doing YouTube ads for PragerU. God, boy, you talk about a nightmare. PragerU. I don't know if he has gone all black MAGA or if it's a contract. Well, yeah, he is black MAGA. He is. He just is. If you have a table and 9 people are sitting there and a Nazi sits down and they just keep on keeping on, that's a table with 10 Nazis sitting on it. It's just that simple. Amy Manuel, owner of a truck. Was he deported? Actually deported? Because I know they picked him up, but I didn't know they deported him. For sure, he was actually deported. Yeah, what she's talking about, you heard about those idiotic Trump burgers? Well, one of the guys is Hispanic. You know how Hispanic voters kind of shifted in the last election? He's one of the reasons why. He's one of the people within the Hispanic community promoting just nonsense and bullshit. Yeah, they picked him up. ICE picked him up. And I know he was deadly afraid he was going to be deported. I'm curious if it was actually they got to the point of where he's gone now. George Allen, I've had 3 wives and each one could kick my ass. Actually, she's trained. Yeah, she could probably kick my ass. Yeah, the owner of Trump Burger is 100%. Wow, they got around. They actually deported him. That is freaking hilarious. That is just hilarious. Oh my God. I'd been following that because I'd been wanting to catch when they actually deport him because there's going to be videos. Oh, that is just freaking great, man. That is just, and there was another couple that was on the news down here. They were driving down near the border. I didn't make the show, but anyways, there's video of them whining and crying how they really regret their Trump vote because they were going camping while Hispanic, man. Don't do that. They got pulled over and harassed by ICE, and they're like, I've never in my life been harassed in my own country before, yada, yada, yada. I regret my vote for Trump. What did you think was going to happen, man? Yeah, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? There you go. There you go. He was Lebanese. That's right. You folks, I love you folks. I do. He was from Lebanon. That's right. See, that's what I mean. We got to be a community here, folks. Monica Mays, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Isn't that hilarious, though? The owner of Trump Burger deported. Just beautiful. Well, this is happening, and this is not beautiful. This is actually problematic. Donald Trump, and again, I've said it before, and this is just more proof of it. They're idiots. They really suck at everything government. They just do. They really do. They just really suck at anything government. So Trump pretty much will unilaterally declares a summit with Putin. And of course, Putin jumps all over it. Yeah. No Russian leader has been invited to American soil for about 2 decades now. It's been the 2006, 2007, right around there was the last time any Russian leader was invited to stand on American soil. So yeah, they jumped all over it. But they immediately cucked Trump. Immediately. Folks, if you don't follow diplomatic, activity, diplomatic news, it may escape you as to why this is such a big freaking deal. But when you make when you plan a summit between the leader of the United States of America and the leader of Russia, they don't say things like this going into it. You know, when Gorbachev and Reagan sat down together, nobody ran their mouth ahead of time. Moscow has been putting out, they're just cheering. They're 100% cheering. Oh yeah, we're going to America. That's right. It's back on. Everything's back normal. Things are getting normalized. And by the way, we're not giving you shit in Ukraine. They just humiliated him. We're not giving you shit. Just so you know. Yeah, we're going to sit down with you. We're going to take the photo op. We're going to show the entire world you're my bitch, but you're not getting shit. And this summit isn't till next Friday. This is going to go on for the entire fucking news cycle because they're morons. They are morons. Any other leader that had, even a half-assed leader like George W. Bush, if they were going to have a summit, it would be planned. It would be done. The public statements would be negotiated and approved. We're only going to say this. You don't want us to say certain things. You tell us. We're going to tell you the things that we want you to say ahead of this summit. Everybody's happy. All good. They're literally choreographed out that far. Not the Trump administration. Trump just willy-nilly, hey, we're going to have a summit, man. We're going to have a summit. Josh Jameson on the wall in that Trump burger place was a picture of Trump in his military academy uniform. Where is it located? Under a Marine banner that says veteran, because that was coincidence. Yeah. They're gross people. They just really are. Gregory Brown, he squeaked and Trump greased him. Talking about the deportation. Jackie B., the Department of Defense under the current policy considers gender dysphoria a medical condition that can affect military service eligibility and deployability. Okay, so 100% disability? No shit, right? You don't want to give them retirement, give them disability. But yeah, folks, I mean, I just want you to think. I just want you to think about that. Trump just willy-nilly decides, I want to have a summit. Call Pooty Poot, see if he'll meet for a summit. Okay, good. We're going to. They haven't even announced where the summit is going to be. They just know it's going to be in Alaska. Folks, I'm telling you, they don't announce this shit until all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, the location is secured, it's checked out, everything, because they want nothing to change, because typically all of this has to be negotiated. Table size has to be negotiated. How many handshakes? When will we shake hands? All of that has to be negotiated. These people are morons. They don't even have the venue. Not a single major news outlet has anything beyond Alaska. They're going to do it in Alaska. What town? What city? Is it going to be at the base? Is Putin going to come to one of our military bases? What the fuck is going on here? And of course, because they had nothing planned, the Russians are just owning the news cycle. They didn't even check with our allies. All of our European friends and our friends up in Canada, where the hell did that come from? Canada, They said, no, your Ukraine peace summit is not a peace negotiation. If Ukraine's not sitting there, it's not a peace negotiation. You will get nothing. So you have Putin that has told Trump ahead of time, you will get nothing. Then you've got Europe that is saying, we will back Ukraine. They don't have to concede a damn thing. Folks, these people, you know, I told you that it's a silver lining that they're this freaking stupid because it makes them not as effective. But damn, they can still do damage. They can still do damage. And this is the last thing I've got for you. 1 second. So yeah, this just happened. I told you about Billy Long. He's a shyster. He is a tax cheat freak. Putting him in charge of the IRS would be like putting me in charge of Popeye's chicken sandwiches. It would just be dumb. I mean, it would just be dumb. I mean, there'd be a lot of chicken sandwiches that would go missing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. This guy is out. And when I say he's out, I mean he's fired. And this is a Trump sycophant. This is a guy that was put in to the IRS specifically to gut oversight. It is a great time to be a tax cheat. It really is a great time to be a tax cheat. They have gutted enforcement, especially corporate enforcement under Billy Long. But he's out. He's out because even Billy Long doesn't want to go to prison. Folks, tax laws are no joke. They are no joke. There was enough shenanigans that went on going back to the Nixon administration that when they passed these laws about your tax data and what can be shared and what can't be shared, there are teeth to these statutes. And Billy Long is like, dude, I'll do anything you want, but go to jail. And they said, okay, you're fired. We need somebody that's willing to break the law for us. So we have no head of the IRS right now. None. Scott Bessent has taken it on as another job. We have no one leading the IRS right now. And the fallout comes from the Trump administration wanting to be able to take all of your tax data and turn it over to ICE and whoever, Peter Thiel, who's crunching the data for ICE. They want to take all of your tax data and hand it to fucking Palantir and the South African PayPal mafia shit gibbons. And that's a crime. You can't do that. It's really, I mean, it's a short statute, folks. There's no ambiguity there. And even Billy Long was like, I'm out. I'm not doing that. I will do a lot for you, but I ain't doing that. That just gives you an idea of the type of requests that these people are making, the types of things that they're asking these people to do. So yeah, we've got to really keep a close eye on who gets the job now that Billy Long is out. I thought Billy Long would be about as bad as it gets. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I really thought Billy Long would be about as bad as it gets. But no, it is not. He is not as bad as it gets. It can get worse. Much, much, much worse. One second. Nancy Z, thank you very much for the support. $50 is a lot of money. Love your channel. I think your wife is awesome. Thank you. I think she's pretty damn awesome too. I do. Even though she's mean to me. Carl Rossi, keep on trucking, Paul. We enjoy your talks, your heart, your clarity. Best show on the internet. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Jason Cry, any chance you and the Major doing another Sunday show together soon? I love Richard Ojeda. I do. He's always got a standing invitation here. I need to go visit him. I really do. I enjoy Richard Ojeda. I think he's a good guy. I do. Solara, kudos to the Texas Democrats, but what Americans don't understand it for all of us, because right now blue states have no say at what happens in America. The blue states do. The blue states do. Governor Gavin Newsom has come out again, and he has laid that. I told you. People were like, "Oh, they're not going to do anything." I'm like, they already are. They've already sat down. They've had the meetings. They've got everything pre-planned. Here, I'll let Gavin Newsom tell you. Thanks for the support, Helen. I really appreciate you. I really do. I'll let Gavin Newsom tell you himself. Lady died 1245. Thank you for being in the roundtable. Can you talk about Trump executive order letting private equity into 401ks? I cannot, because I don't know the details on it, and I would just be spreading misinformation. That is going to have to be something for another show. I just heard that it happened, but I don't know the details of it. I would be useless in that conversation. So unfortunately, no. Thank you for the support. We will get around to it. If you'll send me an email as to specifically what you've seen, it may help me hunt that dog down. But yeah, God love Gavin Newsom. J.B. Pritzker has also come out and has been very stern on this. But I want you to hear what Gavin Newsom says here specifically. Because, again, details and nuance matter. Listen to what he says about this is already in place. They are waiting for the idiots here in Texas to pass their map. Everything is already in place. They already have the amendment is written. They've already got everything's already pre-planned to get this election to the people as fast as possible. Listen to what he says here.
We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent of the people. And that's the difference between the approach we're taking and the approach they're taking. We're doing it on a temporary basis. We're doing it in a fully transparent way. And we're doing it by asking the people of the state of California for their consent and support. Mark that stark contrast to what's happening in Texas and other states. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent of the people. And that's the difference between the approach we're taking and the approach they're taking.
Now, to the untrained ear, that could just sound like, oh, he's just talking. No, they've actually planned this out. They have already talked this out. They have the plan in place. They've already looked at the numbers. They know where they're going to have to work to get people moved to this. They've already got the messaging in place. You can hear the verbiage very carefully said about, this is temporary. This is a response and an emergency measure. They've already got the verbiage out there to sell it. This is not off the cuff. This is their polished, we've sat down, we've got our script. Yeah, this is the real deal. California, Illinois, JB Pritzker said the exact same thing. We don't want to be doing this, but we have to. New Jersey and New York already. And here's the thing. Everybody's like, well, what if the red states do it? They already have. That's the beautiful part about this. They can't squeeze much more blood out of that tournament. In the state of Texas, you're talking about they're claiming they're going to get 5 seats, but they're not. They might get 3. Might. They're going to redistrict to try to get 5, but 2 of them aren't a done deal. They're not a done. They could end up losing a district they didn't intend to lose. That's how gerrymandered Texas already is. Blue states are the only ones that have done this on a nonpartisan basis. When those maps change, oh yeah, you're talking about a swing in just those 4 states of 26 to 33 seats. And this is already looking like the polling numbers, Trump's poll numbers are shit. This should be a massive swing in the midterms. John Ledger, going to be an interesting week. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. So, yeah, I mean, be excited, folks. Be happy warriors, but for God's sakes, be warriors. It is time to get out there. It is time to get it done. Kathy Young says, will people kicked off their health care be fined under the ACA for not having health care? No, that was actually repealed a long time ago. But Kathy, thanks for bringing it up. I mean, this was actually something for another show as we got a little bit closer to it. But yeah, if you're buying your health, I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not. I don't. I'm not. I don't scare people just to scare people. There's a lot of people out there that do what I do that will say things. This is a real code red. There are a lot of people that get their policies through the Affordable Care Act and through the exchanges. Those policies are subsidized from 50 to 75%. 50 to 66%. Half to a third of that policy is subsidized. That goes away because of the big ugly bill. That goes away in December. So yeah, you're talking about a lot of people that your health insurance, you may get it under the, out of the exchanges for $250 a month, $300 a month, $500 a month. But that's about to change to $750 a month, to $1,000 a month, to $1,500 a month. And I don't know many people that can swing that. I don't know where they think that this money is going to keep coming from. People's grocery bills are already exploding. We're about to go do some shopping here. And I'm gonna take some pictures of some of the things. I talked about it in the last show. One of the treats that we used to buy ourselves, we're just gonna have to give up is the damn coconut water. It was already outrageously expensive. It went up $4, man. $4. And I know some people are saying, well, $4, that's the deal breaker. Yeah, man. Because it's $4 here, it's $5 there, it's $2 here. And before you're done, my grocery bills is another $100. People can't afford that. People can't afford that. I don't know any simpler way to put it than your energy bills are set to go through the roof because natural gas production is dropping at a time when the tech industry is demanding more and more and more energy. These AI hubs are decimating our energy supplies. We don't have the infrastructure in place to generate or deliver the electricity over the next 10 years that just the damn data centers and the AI hubs are demanding. We can't increase our natural gas production to meet just their demand. Now look at electric vehicles. Now look at, and then they got rid of all the subsidies for solar. They got rid of the green energy subsidies. So you're not going to see new windmills going up. They just don't make financial sense. So we're looking at your electric bills skyrocketing, folks. And soon, some have already started to go up. Where do they think this money's going to come from? Someone smarter than me needs to explain where they think the sales tax that is the tariffs on all your other goods, plus what the tariffs do to groceries, plus the weaker dollar, plus, energy demands. The people I know, I don't know. Do y'all know a bunch of rich people? Do y'all know a bunch of rich people that are just, I don't know, have the cushion in their budget? The people I know don't. So far they're talking about like an additional $2,500 a year if things keep going the way they're going in electric bills. That's not a $2,500 electric bills. That's a $2,500 increase in electric bills. Plus what they're talking about, we've already picked up $2,500 per family because of the tariffs. I mean, damn, people. Where is this all supposed to come from? Linda, thank you for being here. Don Dorff, thank you for the support. Thanks for supporting the show. Cathwick, my rage will not be tamed until the Dems get control of the House. Blue staters need to pay attention to red states more to see the bigger picture. Recommend your show everywhere. We've got to realize that we're talking beyond just us. We always have to remember that. We do. I screwed the pooch in the last election. I forgot that we weren't just talking to each other. We've got to remember that. We've got to remember we're talking, and I'm not even talking about MAGA, folks. That was a great comment. Christopher Daly, thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate you, sir. That was a great comment. I'm not even talking about MAGA. When I say that, I'm not even talking about conservatives. Folks, there are people that just don't pay attention to politics. They don't. You think of Cletus the plumber. He gets up in the morning. He's got to make sure he's got his supplies. He's got to take care of his vehicle maintenance. He's got to do everything that he's got to do before he ever does his damn job. The paperwork, he's got to line out his route. He's got to make sure that he's accessible, both cell phone and office phones. All of the things that have to happen before Cletus goes and does his first job. Then he's got to go work. He's not paying attention to politics. I'm going to be honest with you. Most people aren't. So they get these little catchphrases. And that's where you come in, folks. We've got to be loud. We've got to be proud. You got to be telling people, I'm a Democrat, not I'm an independent, or I don't want to say that because, there's a lot of conservatives around here because you never know how they're going to fuck them. Be loud, be proud, so that all those people that are not bad people, they don't have the room in their lives to do what we do, to follow and get the information that we get. We got to remember that we aren't just talking to us. We're talking to them. And they need to get out and vote Democrat. So we need to make that happen. George Allen, my good friend, saw the price of beef up here in Humboldt, California. I bet they lost their mind. I bet they lost their mind. Vinny, thank you for supporting the show. Vinny Demon, thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate you. Metal Mark 12. Yeah, that's the problem. It's already happening. It's already happening. E.T., they want to have poor people go back to gaslight and candles to allow the AI power to get to run. Get out the vote. Yeah, I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you. There's no one I know of in the oil and gas industry that isn't just like, ooh, baby. They're going to do great because their product is about to get astronomically more expensive. Pavlon 01, these are not serious people and don't care about we the people. Wake up, people. I am a Democrat. Amen. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I've always been pro-nuclear power. I have. I've always been pro-nuclear power. For a lot of reasons. A lot of people don't like it. They like wind, they like solar. I love that for us. Wind turbines at home, solar power at home, even the big commercial wind turbines, I love those. But it's hard to get away from a singular big power generating facility. And nuclear is clean, but I digress. I'm getting off the point. The point is, even if we decided today, hey, we're going to build nuclear power plants all across the country to meet our demands 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Folks, if we hauled ass, it would take 5 years and more like 10 to even get a portion of them built. It just would. It would just take that long. We are a large country. People don't understand the logistical challenges that we face because we don't realize in our own circle, in our own world, that, yeah, there's 330 million more people. You can't wrap your head around that number. And the logistics it takes to keep everybody in electricity, in clean water, and in food. Stop coddling stupid. They've forgotten that let them eat cake is a terminal fail policy. Yeah. I've been working on my woodworking because I'm going to volunteer to make free guillotines. Colleen Sarah, stocking up on flour, yeast, masa for homemade bread, pasta, and tortillas, beans and rice, big batches, and frozen after. Smart. That is smart. We've been doing the same thing. We've been doing the exact same thing. We're not buying a lot of frivolous stuff, but things that'll store like rice and flour and beans and canned goods. Yeah, we've been keeping a few extra of those in the pantry. Toyota Corolla says ribeye steak here in Sacramento. Costco is around $26 a pound. It's about that at our Sam's here in Longview too. It's maybe just a little bit cheaper, but it's about the same. Gail Brownell, I wonder if the little boys were also abused on that damn island. Stock your pantry. Good question. Good question. Good question. I don't know the answer. And I don't know how you folks are buying that really expensive steak, because I'm telling you, me and my buddy Chuck, I don't do a lot of ribeyes and New York strips, man. I just don't. I will buy a brisket and smoke that thing, for like 20 hours, 16 hours, depending on how big a brisket I've got. But yeah, I buy cheap meat, man. I do. I've always been frugal. I always have. And then I married a woman that was just smart, that was just really smart. And she taught me how to be effectively frugal. And yeah, so I don't get these people out there buying those ribeyes and shit like that. I see like these MAGA people. I went to go buy a standing rib roaster. What? When did you get rich, Cletus? You know, I mean, Randy Oliver, been canning beans and pickles. Smart. Every little bit helps. We're going to do a big garden. I've already set aside a place that I'm cleaning out. We're going to do a big garden this spring. We've been hoarding some seeds on what we want to grow. I've got a little greenhouse experiment that I built for Mrs. Texas Paul. And it's one of those things where the first one is like that first pancake. It's just kind of ugly. Didn't come out right. So I'm going to tear it apart and we're going to do an expansion on it. We've already got some seeds, and we're gonna grow a bunch of squash, a bunch of tomatoes. We're gonna do a huge garden next year. I've been adding them honeydews. Maple Midas Janine. They think coal is going to solve everything. So much for the environment. Yeah. You know that's coming. We're gonna build a dozen new coal-fired plants. Yeah, this right here. I'm telling you, folks, if you want to save money, do this. Break out your Instant Pot or your plain old-fashioned crock pot and, make 2 to 3 times what you need and pack it away. I guarantee you those meals are a fraction of the cost. Oh, I love lentil soup, man. I love lentil soup. Back when we lived down in Central Texas, there was a place that used to sell this Italian sausage. Oh my God, it was so good in the lentil soup. I'm telling you. Tomatoes, onions, lentils, and just let that just simmer. Cut that sausage open out of the casing so that it was, kind of like coarse hamburger. Oh my God, that was so good. I haven't made lentil soup in a long time. George Allen, local Democrats are wonderful up here in Northern California. Got some time on my hands. I'm going to go join them. Yeah, good timing up in California too, because they're going to need to. It's going to require a constitutional amendment to get rid of the nonpartisan redistricting. They're going to need all the boots on the ground they can get. If you're especially, everybody needs to get involved, especially in red states. But good Lord, with what's going on with the redistricting, if you're in California, New Jersey, Illinois, or New York, yeah, your local Democratic Party is going to need you badly. Joe Devlin, my man from Scotland, thank you for supporting the show. Come have some world-class Angus beef here in Scotland. You would be more than welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? We're actually planning on heading that way. It's on our bucket list now that we're older and I can do this show on the road now. Yeah, we're actually talking about maybe heading out there, spending a little time with you folks. It's on my list. It is. Cecile Kazemi, start a fall garden now. I hear you, but I'm lazy, Cecile. I'm lazy, and I got so much other stuff to do. And I'm shooting for spring, man. I'm shooting for spring. But yeah, by all means, if you got the energy, get you a fall garden in the ground. Sloan Gregory, my little lake area in Georgia is seeing an odd growth of apartment buildings and strip shopping here. I'm not sure what Kemp and Bros are up to here. Dems are hustling, trying to keep up. Yeah. I hear you. Watch a lot of that collapse over the next little while. A lot of people moved here to Texas and moved to Florida thinking, oh man, we're going to get out of California. We're going to get out of New York. And then they got there and didn't like it. And housing prices are just plummeting here in Texas and Florida. They reported last month's were down another 4%. I think they're down a total of close to 20%. overall. It's just the housing market has just collapsed. Skates here, Dems should continue to have town halls and red districts. It could overwhelm the redistricting. Yeah, they are. They are. They're not just sitting here, you know, laid up in a hotel in Chicago and New York, chilling out. No, they are on the offensive. They really are. Toyota Corolla. Thank God for the Democratic supermajority here in California. Wish we had one everywhere. Wish we had one everywhere. I know, right? I don't know what it is about Scotland, but I have never met anybody that didn't want to go hang out there. I do. I want to sit in a Scottish pub and drink beers. What are my thoughts on Jon Stewart possibly running for president? I think that he is incredibly popular, extremely eloquent, and we have so many people in 2028 that are super, super qualified to actually govern that he'll lose. We are, as Democrats, are doing great as far as candidates are concerned. Think about that. You've got Gavin Newsom, of course, J.B. Pritzker, of course. You've got Kathy Hochul up in New York. You've got Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. You've got Pete Buttigieg has been out on a talking tour. He's absolutely gearing up to run again. He'll probably, Pete Buttigieg, I could see him ending up in a vice president's slot. And this is before you start talking about Josh Shapiro, before you start talking about Andy Beshear, before you start talking. They're just in governors. We are flush in candidates, and they're all good candidates. Yeah, 2028 is going to be a good year for us. 2026, 2028 are both going to be very good years for us. Heidi, good to see you, Heidi. Heidi M. Acevedo, you also need chickens for eggs. Saludo from your friend in Puerto Rico. By the way, how's Linda, by the way? By the way, behind all great men is an awesome woman, and behind her is a mountain of laundry. Yeah, terrible, Heidi. I bet Heidi, me and Mrs. Texas Paul were in Puerto Rico, and that's when Heidi and I, she was so nice. She was giving us instructions on where to go and what to do and what to see. That was a great trip. That was. Colleen Sarah, Omaha, Nebraska rally with Elizabeth Warren and Maxwell Frost, August 23rd. Keep at it, people. And this is what I want to. This is what I want to stress to you. One more really serious point. I know this has been really overwhelming. I know it has. It was designed to be that way. That was the 2025 project, was to make it feel overwhelming. But I want to remind you, folks, we're about midway through August. We're 16 days, 17 days from a burr month. My favorite time of year is fall. I'm actually super excited. Think about that. I mean, think about that. I know it seems like it's been awful, and it has. But before you blink, it's going to be Christmas, and we're going to be 1 year down. And remember, his last year in office, he's going to have no Republican support. He can't run again. And he's going to be horribly, if he lives that long, will be horribly, horribly unpopular. That man is dying right before our eyes. Then we're going to get a Democratic majority in 2026. We're going to make it, folks. We are. If you buck up, if you get to work, you start fighting for Democrats, we're going to make it. We are. There's going to be damage. There's going to be shit to clean up, messes to clean up, long-term damage. There will be. I'm not going to bullshit you. but we're going to make it. So yeah, get excited. This fall's coming. Pumpkin spice season is coming. I'm going to have to get me some more of that Kittytown pumpkin spice coffee. You know, all the and you know, I sit there at night and I flip through Instagram and Facebook and everything, just like everybody else. I lay in bed watching videos. Man, all the bacon videos with the, you know, all the fall recipes are coming. Before you know it, you're going to get your first cold snap. Life is good, folks. Life is good for us because we're decent people. We're going to make it. We are. These sorry shitbags are trying to screw things up as much as possible, but we are going to make it. We are. George Allen. That's right, Paul. No laziness in blue states. Even though Kamala won California, got to be on the ball. Loved your interview the other day, by the way. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Julie Johnson's great, man. She's going to be a star. She's going to be a star. Joan Prim. I love to see you in South Florida. When you do go out on your road trip, let me know when you come. I'm telling you. I'm going to be honest with you. Florida wasn't on my list. It wasn't on my list. I got a few places that we're heading. Got a few surprise shows for you coming up. I do. Cindy Hoffer, who hurt you? That's snuggle weather. That's the best recipes. The leaves change color. There's something about, and I still have had nobody, you know, I love science. No one has been able to explain to me yet. Somebody told me it was the pitch of the earth, but they couldn't really tell me. But that sky, that blue sky, I remember it from when I was a kid. That was the first time I noticed it, even as a kid. Something about the fall sky. We would be outside, you know, the first couple cold snaps are there. We're throwing the football because it's football season. And you look up and there's something about that fall sky. That color is like no other, man. Like no other. I don't know why. I don't know why. I cannot tell you. The mums everywhere. I love mums, by the way. I love mums because they're hard to kill. Do me a favor, folks, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, just so we can get the information to you, get as many people to see this video as you can. Let's get it out. I mean, really, you are the warriors. You are the social media warriors. Oregon Wine Lady in the house. Good to see you. Paul, DOJ investigating Mark Elias for bias because he won't post it. That shit is real. That is real. This is really, really happening. Mark Elias, and it's actually not just Mark Elias. It's other folks as well. The DOJ is actually have carted a case on Mark Elias because he will not post on X. What crime is that? This is insane. Luigi was right. When we've reached that point that you will not give attention, you're popular and you won't go to Elon Musk's site, so that's a crime. It's insane. I really thought that was fake news. I really thought that, because that's been happening lately, folks. You've had a lot of people that have been just, you can't just take just because somebody pops up. That's why when I put a post up on social media, more often than not, I will link an article there are a lot of people out there that, especially Instagram. I remember what it was. Mrs. Texas Paul came running in the other day and told me something had happened. And I'm like, that don't sound right. And she texted it to me and I looked, I'm like, okay, this is just a talking head. Let me find some confirmation. Nothing to it. I can't remember what it was, what we were talking about, but it hadn't happened. That's happening more and more and more. Got to be careful, folks. Oh, hell yeah, I do. Hatch chilies are the bomb. George Allen, thank you for being here. Thanks for, yeah, folks, there's actually a brand you could buy them canned. There's a brand called Hatch. If you like jalapenos, if you like bell peppers, they're slightly spicy on my index, not too bad, but Hatch chilies are the bomb. They are the best. I'm telling you, New Mexico has, people like to talk about jalapenos here in Texas and shit like that. New Mexico's kicking our ass in the chili game. They are. When I make a big pot of chili, that's what goes in it. It's Hatch chilies. I'm not giving you my recipe. That's all you get. It's the Hatch chilies. And I serve the fucking beans on the side like they're supposed to be. You want to hear something messed up? Josh Hanger, let me tell you something that these only time I've ever cussed people in New Mexico. Only time I've ever cussed people in New Mexico. I love green apple. I love everything fall. I do. And I love Granny Smith apples. I do. And candy, green apple candy. Oh my God. I freaking love it, man. I can't leave it. I can't put it down. I mean, I'm like, there's these things that come out in fall and only in fall. They're like these pops. You can get them at Costco. You can get them at Sam's. They're half caramel, half green apple kind of mixed. You've seen them before. They're really good. Oh my God. These fuckers from New Mexico. How dare you? They make Hatch chili lollipops. That was the rudest awakening I've ever had, man. I'm like a kid again. I'm like, the big artisanal square chunky lollipops you see, love those things, man. They're the best. They are the best. And somebody sent me some, and I, like a dumbass, I'm eating shit that's mailed to me. But anyways, it was a Hatch chili lollipop, man. That's rude. Oh yeah. I love the Granny Smiths. I do. Especially if I can get a little caramel to dip them in. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. It was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. But man, I'm looking for my sweet and sour. And I was not ready for that, brother. I was not. They were good though. They were good. All right, I'm going to throw this out there. You people that are saying grannies are just for bacon and stuff like that. Sometimes for dinner, we don't feel like cooking. So we'll make what we call a happy snack. And it's just meat and cheese and olives. I'm an olive addict. I am an olive addict. I like all different kinds of addicts. I all different kinds of olives. And fortunately, even Walmart has selections of olives. So we'll make, and medjool dates. We'll slice up some salami, slice up some meat. Try this. It's going to blow your mind. Parmesan cheese. You only use it for grating. Don't. Get you a wedge of Parmesan cheese if you can. Slice it about that thick. Slice wedges off about that thick, and it will break on you. It'll break on you. Break it into pieces no bigger than about that big. It's going to be a little grainy. The texture is going to be a little grainy. Not creamy cheese by any means, but you will be shocked at how good it tastes just eating pieces of Parmesan cheese. It is really good. It is super good. And fortunately, you can't eat much of it because it has, you can't eat much of it. But it is really good because it's fucking expensive. Parmesan cheese is not cheap. It is not cheap cheese. Cut it up and eat it by hand. You will be shocked. In little pieces about that big. Don't like take a wedge of it and take a big bite. You won't enjoy that. But yeah, then on that same plate, have some Granny Smith apple wedges and clean your palate with that Granny Smith apple. Yeah, it's going to be tart, but I promise you, the next thing you eat is going to be fucking delicious, especially if you go for something savory. I do the same thing when I don't have Granny Smith apples. Mrs. Texas Paul is on this baking binge, so we've always got dried cranberries in the pantry because they last for freaking ever. I'll put some of those on there. Great palate cleanser. Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language. Helen, who hurt you? It is actually a war crime to force somebody to drink Clamato juice. Good Lord. I'm just teasing you, Helen. I know some people love that stuff. I'm going to confess something. Fish flavor, I don't like it. I don't. I like fish that is very mild, and then I will put malt vinegar on it, or if I don't have malt vinegar, I'll squeeze a lemon on it. But yeah, I don't like fishy fish. I don't even, and a lot of fish I won't even fish for. I won't keep that people just love because they're so fishy. Snapper, nope. Don't do snapper. And people down here on the Gulf Coast, they love snapper season. Oh yeah, shaking my head. The stinkier the cheese, the better. I found that to be true myself. Oh, you know what happened to me the other day? Y'all don't need to hear that. Anyways, look, I'm used to cheeses that like last for a while. You know what I mean? We found this cheese that is natural cheddar. It's natural cheddar, which means it doesn't have orange dyes and shit in it. You know what I mean? It's just naturally orangey colored because it's got the fat and shit in it. But they make it with caramelized onions in it. My dumbass didn't know that adding the caramelized onions to it will make it spoil pretty quick. Man, I like cheese. I sliced me off for a snack. I went in there, sliced a slice of it off, and went to throw it in my mouth, and I'm like, I have never in my life had bad cheese. I thought bad cheese tasted like blue cheese. Oh no, my friend. Oh my God, that was. It's actually making me ill just thinking about it. Ugh. Have y'all ever had like really spoiled cheese? I did. My dumb ass. I thought spoiled cheese tasted like blue cheese. Tasted like that. Oh no. George Allen in the house. Texas recipe book by the custom pot. I don't give many of my recipes away. I'll be honest with you. Well, folks, we've come up on 2 hours. I can't believe 2 hours has blown by. Thank you for spending the time with me. I enjoy spending time with you so much. Y'all recharge my batteries every time. Y'all are wonderful people. Thank you for being here. Let's do this. Let's be happy warriors. Let's get out. We're 1 month. We're 17 days away from a Burr month. 17 days away from a Burr month. Life is good for us. It is. Fuck Trump. Fuck the Republicans. Let's go be happy warriors. And on that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.